Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today we are back with more uh, news and politics from around the world. It is a bit late when I'm getting this done, but let's go ahead and jump into this. We'll start with a story from ProPublica. Impeached Texas Attorney General partnered with troubled businessmen to push opioid program while launching a statewide program to distribute packets to dissolve opioids. Attorney General Ken Paxton worked to connect its leaders with the state's comptroller, who oversees the distribution of millions of dollars in opioid settlement money. A year after persuading Texas lawmakers to buy millions of child identification kits that had no proven record of success, a businessman with a troubled history found an in with the state's attorney general. Last fall, Kenny Hansmeier was tapped by Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton to be part of the coalition to combat opioid abuse that Paxton declared would be the largest drug prevention, education, and abatement and disposal campaign in U.S. history. Riffing off the name of the popular book about Texas football, Paxton announced the Friday Night Lights Against Opioids Coalition and pilot program. The initiative would distribute 3.5 million packets at high school football games that contain a powder capable of destroying opioids when mixed with water. Paxton didn't provide a price tag for the effort or explain Hansmeier's exact role, but he said a partnership with businessmen's National Child Identification Program would be important to the program's success. A former NFL player, Hansmeier has persuaded leaders in multiple states to spend millions of dollars purchasing inkless fingerprinting kits on the promise that they could help find missing children. Texas alone allocated $5.7 million for kits over the past 2 years. An investigation published last month by ProPublica and the Texas Tribune found little evidence of the kit's effectiveness and showed that the company exaggerated missing child statistics in its marketing. So yeah, just another scam. Kenny Hansmeier, Wright, stands alongside Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and State Senator Donna Campbell at a news conference in Austin last October to announce a pilot program to dispose of opioid medications. So yeah, here's Hansmeier, Paxton, and Donna Campbell. And Paxton's already under fire in Texas, so yeah. This is from The Lever, the state that may let corporations vote in elections. Delaware Democrats could pass GOP legislation letting businesses cast ballots in a municipal election. Oh my God. Democratic President Biden has called his home the corporate state of Delaware, and Republican Senator Mitt Romney has insisted that corporations are people, my friend, embodying that bipartisan spirit in post-Citizens United America. Delaware Democrats are now advancing a Republican bill that would allow corporations to directly vote in a municipal election. So, yeah, both sides are guilty of this crap. As GOP states across the country aim to limit the voter participation, Delaware's Democratic-controlled legislature has been considering a bill to allow the expansion of the franchise, the right to vote, to businesses. The Republican legislation would explicitly permit the city of Seaford, Delaware, to authorize artificial entities, limited liability corporations, partnerships, and trusts to vote in municipal elections. Anyway, the legislature has until June 30 to vote on the bill when the legislative session ends. They better vote against the damn thing. That is going down the wrong stupid ass road. With hundreds of thousands of corporations officially headquartered in small Wilmington warehouse, Delaware has long been known for its business fealty. The state's new legislation would allow corporations to upend the balance of power in Seaford, a small 8,000 person city 20 miles north of Salisbury, Maryland. Just 340 people voted in the most recent election on April the 15th, and the bill would potentially provide as many as 234 votes to businesses in the community. If this ain't fucking rigging the nation for the rich. Here's another one by the lever. The system that makes patients sick and CEOs rich. Healthcare executives pay top $335 million last year, while 100 million Americans were saddled with medical debt. Think about that. You know, all these executives pay $335 million. So they're getting richer while more Americans are saddled with healthcare debt. It's bullshit. It's a rigged fucking system. Big health insurance companies have been on a spending spree, buying back shares of their own stock. A gimmick, illegal until a few years ago, that has made a few insurance companies' CEOs incredibly rich at a time when 100 million Americans are saddled with medical debt. Share purchases benefit top executives and other shareholders at the expense of the insurer's customers, especially health plan enrollees with such high out-of-pocket requirements. They're getting buried under a mountain of medical debt. As Forbes reported last July, those out-of-pocket requirements have reached such heights that millions of Americans are now functionally uninsured. This is why we need a single payer government run system. You hear people, oh, don't let the government run it, destroy it. Well, there's people dying and getting fucked over because these corporations just want to make money off the backs of these, regular people. Fuck the corporations. They're the ones you should fucking worry about. God, that pisses me off. This is from ABC News. Judge strikes down Arkansas ban on gender-affirming care for transgender minors. A federal judge has struck down Arkansas's ban on gender-affirming care for minors. Good. They need to. A federal judge struck down Arkansas's first-in-the-nation ban on gender-affirming care for children as unconstitutional Tuesday. The first ruling to overturn such a prohibition, as a growing number of Republican-led states adopt similar restrictions. U.S. District Judge Jay Moody issued a permanent injunction against the Arkansas law, which would have prohibited doctors from providing gender-affirming hormone treatment, puberty blockers, or surgery to anyone under 18. Surgery is almost a non-existent thing to someone under 18 for gender affirmation. Usually it's hormone blockers, puberty blockers. But, most right-wingers are told, oh, it's mutilation. No, it isn't, dumb dicks. This is from the Tennessean. Vanderbilt turns over transgender patient records to state in Attorney General probe. Vanderbilt University Medical Center has turned over transgender patient medical records to the Tennessee Attorney General's office, which confirmed Tuesday it is conducting an investigation into potential medical billing fraud. Vanderbilt University Medical Center, through a spokesperson, confirmed to the Tennessean on Tuesday the facility provided patient medical records to the Attorney General. The Tennessean reviewed the Vanderbilt University Medical Center notice informing patients of the move, which the facility said would result in an investigation into billing for transgender care services provided to individuals enrolled in state-sponsored insurance plans. The state requested medical records from January the 1st, 2018 to the present. Personally, I see it as an operation to push hateful rhetoric when you seek so much to attack a community like the transgender community, the LGBTQ plus community. Fuck Republicanism. Fuck conservatism. They are the echoes of evil. And here's another thing to show it. AP News. Hunter Biden will plead guilty in a deal that likely averts time behind bars in a tax and gun case. This is what they found on him. He was late in paying taxes one year, and apparently he had a gun when he was still struggling with his... He purchased a gun when he was struggling with his drug issues. All this searching and everything, and this is what they come up with. The little bitches are so fucking set on saying, he's a demon, he's evil, he hurts America, America. And that's what they come up with. Like I said, it's all been bullshit. All been goddamn bullshit. This is from NBC News. For me, it's more proof that we needed things done with guns. Safety rules. But, the gun industries were so intent on saying, oh, they want to ban your right to own guns. 7-year-old child fatally shoots 5-year-old in eastern Kentucky home. And this is the kind of thing I'm pointing out that, if you own guns, they need to be in a safe storage location. Duh. I think people should have the right to own guns. There's certain ones like, automatic guns and military style rifles. Why? Why do you need something like that? Really, why do you need something like that? Is it just to defend your home? Or to go hunting? I think those type of guns should be available at a shooting range to be rented and shot with. But yeah, otherwise there's no reason for you to own one. No fucking reason. Period. There's nothing I have heard that tells me, oh, I need my M16. No. Rifles, shotguns, bow and arrows, crossbows, that's fine. If you're a hunter, by all means. That's fine. You could have a handgun for home defense. But why? Can you fucking justify owning a gun? These military style guns. These automatics and semi-automatics. Anyway. Judge to unseal identities of 3 people who backed George Santos' $500,000 bond. This is from CBS News. Federal judge in Central Islip, New York, has agreed to unseal the court records showing the identities of people who helped George Santos, Republican of New York, make bond in his federal criminal case. The court's opinion says the aforementioned documents shall be kept under seal until Thursday, June 22nd at 12 p.m., during which time defendant may move to modify the conditions of his release should the suretors seek to withdraw from serving as suretors. Santos was released on May the 10th on $500,000 bond after he was indicted on 13 federal criminal counts, including fraud. We knew this was only going to end one fucking way. I don't know why people thought, oh, he's fine. This is from Newsweek. Democrats want Jared Kushner investigated after Hunter Biden charged. I don't think it should be something just, relation for relation. No, that's how a lot of these mountain feuds ended up with several family members killed on both sides. Now, Kushner actually did things while Trump was in office. He actually worked for the administration in certain terms. He would do things for them. And it's a lot more that, you should go after Kushner than Biden, but I don't think it should be for, oh, you went after my relations, I'm going after yours. No, that's stupid as shit. This is from the Straits Times. Experts, researchers alarmed as India removes evolution and the periodic table from textbooks. The removal of critical sections on evolution and the periodic table of elements from some high school science textbooks in India has sparked concerns among education experts and scientists who said it would lead to a poor grasp of fundamental scientific concepts. The changes were made by the National Council for Education Research and Training, which publishes textbooks for more than 24,000 Indian schools that are certified by the Central Board of Secondary Education. Private and state-run schools under other boards also sometimes use the insert syllabus. The insert has dropped a chapter titled Periodic Classification of Elements from 2023's Class 10 Science textbook for 15 to 16-year-olds. However, the Class 11 Chemistry textbook still has a chapter titled Certification or Classification of Elements and Periodicity in Properties that traces the history of the development of the periodic table of elements. At least they're not taking it out of the next grade level, but yeah, it should still be in the previous one. I hope they're not doing this because of religious, conflicts or anything like that. The earlier we can begin teaching students, the better a grasp they can get on these things. But, sometimes the government sew up the ass of certain groups. Yeah. Missing Titanic sub once faced massive lawsuit over depths it could safely travel to. This is from the New Republic. Court documents reveal a former OceanGate employee had several safety complaints over the tourist submersible, and then he was fired. Unfortunately, there's idiots who are like, I don't care what you say. I want to do this now. Which is part of the issue we're having with AI. Yes, technically it functions, but is it at its best situation? Maybe not. Maybe you should have took some more time working with it, because we see it even now making stuff up. But, what does caution matter? The tourist submersible that went missing while exploring the Titanic wreck was previously the target of safety complaints from an employee of OceanGate, the parent company that owns the sub and runs tourist expeditions of the wreck. That employee complained specifically that the sub was not capable of descending to such extreme depths before he was fired. And this also is about that same sub they're missing. Searchers for Titanic tourist sub heard banging from area internal comms reveal. An aircraft heard sounds at 30-minute intervals from the area where the sub disappeared, according to internal emails sent to the Department of Homeland Security leadership obtained by Rolling Stone. A Canadian aircraft searching for the missing Titan submersible, which failed to return Sunday from an expedition to the wreckage of the Titanic, detected banging in 30-minute intervals coming from the area the divers disappeared, according to internal email updates sent to the Department of Homeland Security leadership obtained by Rolling Stone. Yeah, now we're going to have deaths on our hands in this world because, greed. Greed to be able to get things done. But we have some videos here to watch. Officer needed a reason to ticket driver. Used air freshener obstructing their view as the reason.
I know that you're going
and then you also can't have this.
I can't have the tiny trick obstructing my view. Can you get your supervisor here, please?
He doesn't have to be.
Can you please get your supervisor here?
Can you get the registration proof of insurance?
Yes, I can. Can you please call your supervisor here?
So let's get the proof of insurance.
Can you please call your supervisor here?
I don't have to call my supervisor.
Why not? Because I feel it is an unlawful stop because you have no reason. I purposely put on my blinker to turn down this street because I knew that you were going to follow me on this street. Every time I ask for a supervisor, he said, he doesn't have to be here. He doesn't have to come out here. Let me see if he wants to come out. Unless you see if he wants to come out, man, call your supervisor. I know that y'all can do that. Black man driving in a white neighborhood, peacefully. No music, no nothing. Exactly, yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. You want to be with a supervisor?
Yes, sir. I asked to speak with you because I feel that there is no reason for this pullover.
So, listen, when we have school traffic we have to get to, so officers, wherever they're at, that's where they start heading to. There's schools in the area that he was probably getting to, which makes sense from the route. That he was taking.
I mean, not really, because I saw him pass me, and I know that he turned around and started following.
All right, listen. If you said you didn't have your blinker on, and that's what you saw, I wasn't the one that observed it. So that's all.
But you can check his dash cam now, right?
I can't check it right now.
All right.
Everything's rolling right now. But look at the upload.
Okay.
So whatever the outcome of the stop is, if you want to, I don't know if he's giving you a ticket or not, but if there's a ticket, there's obviously going to be a dash cam that's going to be showing that there was a blinker that was being utilized for that.
Where we go from here? That's what I want to know.
So here's where we go from here. You think you hit the blinker.
Another one.
You think you hit the blinker. Maybe you both count, because I didn't see a blinker.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Now, moving violations, you know those carry points. I don't want to do that.
All
We're not going to do that. I'm going to just give you a ticket for that. That's it. Pay it online, you're done.
This is the supervisor, right?
That is the supervisor, yeah.
Obstruction? I mean, how many people do you see have that in their car? How is that obstruction of view when I can clearly see through here? This is a little tree that I never look at. So how is that obstructing my view?
It's under 34, 39,374. It's a window obstruction. You can get a citation for that.
So here's your stuff.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else you want to help you with, or?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Just make sure it's almost out. Get that out inspected in the next couple of weeks, all right? Have a good one, man.
Yep.
So apparently that tree is a big issue there, but also, according to graphic 3 here, many drivers find themselves in these familiar with these violations. They've netted the state more than $21 million since 2015, either as a warning issued by police officers instead of a speeding ticket or the pretext for a motor vehicle stop, especially involving minority drivers. So it's the normal thing, like your blinker's out, I see a crack on your windshield. Is that a scrape on the side of your car? Your tire's a little bit low. Now let's go and see if we can dive into anything else we can about you. They pull people over for small things like obstruction in the window for an air freshener. That was the story with Kim Potter when she pulled over Daunte Wright. And then that ended in her thinking that her gun was a taser. It all started there. And then altercations then occurred and death then happened. So we know how bad it actually can get. But still, they made $21 million in the last, 8 years over this. So I guess it's a necessary evil.
That's ridiculous. Here's another video. This one, Warren officer charged after assaulting man in custody. Punched and slammed victim's head on ground, ending up in 2 misdemeanor counts. We don't have any sound to this, it doesn't look like. Oh! He just slugs the guy. You see, the guy wasn't even being physically violent. And the police just slugged him. Ow! That's called assault. That is called assault. There should be more than just, 2 little misdemeanor counts. But you'll probably end up with nothing on him. No. He is assaulting somebody. It don't matter what they're in custody for. Look at this bullshit. This is why you shouldn't trust the police.
The officer is Matthew Rodriguez, a 14-year veteran of the Warren Police Department, and he just faced a judge to be arraigned on a serious crime. A few minutes ago, the Warren Police Commissioner, Bill Dwyer, released the video showing the inmate getting hit in the head and slammed to the ground. Dwyer says it happened a little before 6 last Tuesday morning at the Warren jail as the officer was processing that man. 2 fellow officers can be seen jumping in to stop the attack. The commissioner says once he was notified by his team, he put the officer on administrative leave.
The reason we are here today is to be transparent and to inform the public that acts of misconduct by members...
Probably all he'll get is just administrative leave.
In this particular case, we are talking about a short, less than 1 minute in length, an unexpected act of misconduct.
And he takes the guy and goes, boom, head into the ground, right there.
All acts of police misconduct merits a review and response. This is not what we do. This is not who we are.
You can see the person in custody was not being physical, was not being violent.
One of the officers reported saying, that's enough, as he worked to de-escalate the overall situation.
Oh, it's such bullshit.
The officer's actions were not at all justified. This officer's actions were not at all justified. The actions of this officer are not consistent with our training.
But this is exactly what the public expects. They expect somebody to get out in front of it, don't cover it up, bring it to the attention, and make sure that they're heard loud and clear. This is unacceptable and not tolerable.
Well, the commissioner tells 7 Action News that the judge released Officer Rodriguez on a $5,000 personal bond. They will both meet this week to determine the future of the officer's employment. Meanwhile, Warren police said they've started an internal affairs investigation.
Fire his ass and ban him from holding law enforcement jobs. Period. That should be the result.
She'll have more on later editions of 7 Action News and at WXYZ.com.
There are expected, rights given, but there's also expected behavior that should be in there and heavier punishments because so much is expected of you.
A Houston police officer who was shot in the face by her own husband is telling us what she says really happened.
An incredible story that she shares with us. Her husband told officers that he was trying to protect them from an intruder, but his own department found his story suspicious. Now she is sharing her story only with ABC 13's Brooke Taylor. Incredible story, Brooke.
It is, and this was really difficult for her to just even speak to us. She says this is her husband, the man that she still loves and has always trusted. She says right now, though, it is important to tell her story as soon as she realized that she could have lost her life and just how serious this was. Sadaf Iqbal is permanently blind in one eye, now in need of a prosthetic eye after police say her husband, who's an HPD officer, shot her in the face. She's sharing her story only
I'm assuming
with 13.
Houston Police Department.
You aimed for me. You aimed at my head with a rifle. Like, why would a person want to defend somebody no matter how much they love them?
Her husband, Galib Chowdhury, is charged with aggravated assault and has since posted his $125,000 bond.
He said he loved me more than anyone in this world. Why would you put
It should be attempted murder.
in a hospital? Why would you want to kill them?
She says hours before the shooting, he was sending her angry text messages confirmed by officials.
He texting cursing at me, saying that I'm cheating on him with people from the past that are irrelevant.
Iqbal says when she walked into the apartment, it got even uglier.
He comes out and starts yelling. I remember being shoved on the wall and look at him and be like, "You've never raised your hands at me. You never did this to me. So why?" I was like, "Babe, why are you, like, stop. Like, you never did this." He's like, "You think I can't kill you?" And comes out with a rifle.
She says he became apologetic, called 911, and fabricated a story.
He's like, "I'm an HPD officer. My wife has been shot. There was an intruder." He was like to me, "Babe, let's say it's an intruder. Somebody broke in and I missed and you came in the way." I was like, okay.
But his own department wasn't buying it. Police say there were no signs of a break-in. At first, Iqbal says she was going to lie for the man she loves.
And it's hard to know that the person that you love so much hurt you, and it's hard to let that go. And I know there are women out there that feel that same way, and it's going to be hard. It's better to protect the ones that you love and yourself than to end up dead or somebody you love dead.
An HPD says he has been relieved of duty, but he is still employed. I did ask her whether she was concerned with HPD investigating their own. She says this was never a worry for her because one officer's actions, she said, should never reflect the entire department. She is asking for help right now. She says she could really use it when it comes to all these surgeries and the costs. We'll have that GoFundMe on our website.
That's ridiculous. The guy should be up on attempted murder, not aggravated assault. Fuck people like that. And again, that was another police officer doing something stupid. Here's another one. 1-year-old pit bull family dog fatally shot by a trooper at a Northampton business. The family believes shooting wasn't justified and dog didn't pose a threat.
Business with her dog Coco, a 1-year-old pit bull.
This video here shows the moment a state trooper fatally shot and killed a dog in Northampton County at a business there. It happened Friday night in the town of Rich Square. This is the dog. This is Coco. The business owner says he believes this shooting was not justified, that his dog didn't pose any threat. WRL's Keenan Willard, though, took those families' concerns to the State Highway Patrol, which is standing by the trooper involved.
Rodney Majette owns the R&P car dealership in Rich Square. On Friday night, his sister was at the business with her dog Coco, a 1-year-old pit bull. Around 8 p.m., a state trooper pulled up out front, and Majette's sister went out to meet him.
And when she could open the door, she just shot past her because she didn't know whether she was going home or whether she was just going outside to play.
Coco took off toward the trooper. The dealership's surveillance camera started rolling just as the dog got to the trooper's car. You can't see the dog on camera, but the video shows the trooper back up several steps into the road before shooting the dog one time, killing it.
From a puppy, he felt threatened, and he just shot her.
Majette says he doesn't understand why the trooper was on the business's property or why he shot the dog. Majette believes the trooper reacted with lethal force too quickly because the dog was a pit bull.
It's just been a rough weekend, that's all. Trying to get over it. It's just like we lost a family member.
WRAL took the family's concerns to the State Highway Patrol.
There was the belief that the vehicle involved in a hit-and-run investigation was at this location, which we did find that vehicle to be at the location.
Highway Patrol says the trooper was at the business legally to investigate a crime, and the trooper is still on active duty after an internal review found he acted appropriately during the shooting.
A pit bull running at full steam, aggressively charging at the member and barking. The member you could see him backtracking in the video to a point where he backtracks onto a side street. He is now on the road and put himself at danger.
The Majette family says they don't know anything about a hit-and-run investigation at the business. They're contacting animal welfare groups to see what action they can take after this incident.
For shooting our dog on our own private property. We're reaching out to anybody and everyone.
Keenan Willard, WRAL News, Northampton County.
That's ridiculous. I know a lot of people go, oh, they're big, mean dogs. My aunt had a pit bull. She's owned several, as a matter of fact. They're the friendliest, nicest things you... Unless you are being a threat... proving a threatening manner or posture, they don't go charging at you. She owned like 2 or 3. I've never had any problem with any of them. Such bullshit. Anyway, we'll go ahead and end this episode here. As always, thank you all for watching. Educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting these links in the description box below the video. See you all on the next one. Until then, later.